Hi everybody, how's it going? Thanks for watching. I'm in our new 728 Fendt, and as you can hear, it's beeping at me here. It has a exhaust relevant air. Let's clear that here. So we had a problem with this tractor last week. I think it was maybe Thursday. It's Tuesday today. Was given a DEF alarm. Tractor thinks our DEF quality is not up to where it should be. And we pull from one source. We have a total DEF on our farm that runs like 5 or 6 pieces of equipment. So it was pretty positive that our DEF quality is not the problem. So our dealer came out, changed the sensor on this tractor, and apparently this new tractor has a really tight sensitivity for the quality of DEF, which they think may have been causing this alarm to come on. So they did change the sensor, and then they told me to go buy some DEF in town and some jugs, dump it in this tractor to see if that would help clear the issue. So I did that. We didn't switch tractors over. Okay, we didn't switch tractors over the weekend because I didn't want to have issues Saturday and Sunday. So we did that yesterday afternoon, Monday afternoon. We ran it for the first time this morning, and it did mix all the loads this morning fine, and now it's after lunch. We mixed one load after lunch that we're mixing here, and it's throwing this alarm again. It's extremely frustrating because it just limits the tractor on power enough to where we can't even drive it out of our loading area, and it nowhere near enough power to run the PTO. So now we've got a full feed wagon here on this tractor, no way to unload it. So we have to unhook it full, which I hate doing because there's a lot of weight on that wagon. But that's what we're gonna have to do here again today. So we'll put our 942 on this feed wagon here, get this load of feed ran out. Was in a rush here last week because I think it was maybe the second or third load in the morning. But today here it's after lunch, so not that I'm not in a rush, but the cows all have feed already. We're just top dressing all our high production pens here with this load. So I thought I'd show you guys how we change tractors on our feed wagon. Elvis, our feeder, started on it here already, so we have to disconnect all the hoses, hydraulic hoses, which I should probably take the pressure off here. It's got a hydraulic trailer brake, the power connection that runs power for the scale, and then we've got this computer in here. We got to take this computer out, put it in the other tractor, disconnect this cable that goes to the scale, and reconnect it in the other tractor, and then try to get that pin out, which sometimes is not easy with a full load because it can be quite tight depending on how you're sitting. All in all, I mean, if we're super fast, we can do it in probably 30-45 minutes, but it really takes about an hour to swap tractors, and it's just an hour of wasted time, really. This is part of the reason why we don't have a self-propelled feed wagon, because you can still have issues. You can also have issues with the engine side of those self-propelleds. Our Supreme feed wagon, knock on wood, never really has issues. I think over the three and a half years we've owned it, I think it has not mixed maybe 1 or 2 loads when we had some bolts snap on one of the wheels, and then we used our spare feed wagon. But other than that, super reliable. So that's really a big reason why we don't have a self-propelled, because now, while this is a pain in the butt, we can still keep feeding the cows here in about an hour's time. So it doesn't hold us up any, or not a lot anyways. But it is raining, so I'm not sure how much filming I'll do outside. But I'm gonna go grab a screwdriver to take this cable out that runs communication to our scale from this tablet, and then we'll get the other tractor pulled over here. Yeah, do you want to get it? Yeah, I will take the cable off. Probably the most frustrating thing to me is that they give you like no time to fix whatever the problem is, and 99.9% of the time it seems like it's a sensor issue, so there isn't really an issue even. There's one of the mechanics calling me now. The ironic thing is, we're gonna go grab the other tractor here. The ironic thing is, supposed to be saving the environment. Well, this is supposed to be better for the environment, but now a mechanic has made a trip here from our dealer. Now they're gonna have to make another trip, change the sensor, which is gonna be thrown in the garbage. Now they're probably gonna have to change another sensor that's gonna be thrown in the garbage, and those sensors have to be shipped here. So I wonder if any of that gets taken into consideration with all this equipment, with all this DEF equipment. Now we've got a lot of downtime on this tractor, so this tractor's going to sit on the side, not get used. The swap tractor, so that's all time. I'm not sure that in the end we're really saving much emissions, because now we've got two tractors sitting here running and idling versus just one working. But I don't know, I don't make the rules. And we can't delete it, at least not on this tractor anyways, because then you void the warranty. But it is what it is. Does it have to go up? Zip ties? What do you think, Elvis? Maybe we buy a John Deere?
Casey, yeah?
Or Case?
Yeah.
I told them we're not going to keep changing tractors, so they can figure it out from there. Got the tractor hooked back up. Try the remotes here, the doors. First one works. scale is reading the same as the tablet. So it looks like we're all good there. Turn the PTO on. Turn the PTO on so it doesn't shut off. Turn on 1000, and then you have to push this in or hold it in until it flashes, because otherwise if you get out of the seat it turns the PTO off. So now we should be able to be ready to fire it back up. It is full, but I think we should be able to get it going here on 1000. Sometimes if you're really full and it's a heavy load, you have to put it on 540 to get the PTO to go, but it can work. Killed the tractor. I thought it had it there. Try again here in a second. So we've got 8,600 pounds of silage left here. Elvis must have noticed that the PTO wasn't spinning. Then he went over to check it, and it was that 728 was giving those alarms. Of course, now it doesn't load back to where it's supposed to. To reload the settings for our feed wagon, because it doesn't like that it just shut off like that. And now Elvis is waiting for me. Try it one more time here. It's not uncommon for new pieces of equipment to have trouble, but I think I've said this before in the past. Def trouble is just very annoying, pain in the butt, especially if you have it repeats the same problem over and over. Just costs time and money, and fixing it, I mean, it needs to be fixed obviously, but in my opinion it's not a necessity on a tractor, so fixing it doesn't really do anything either. Put the remotes in this tractor here. Okay. Well, tractor swapped over. This one's running for now. It's got 3,500 pounds, so about 1 bucket of silage left, and we need to load molasses and then deliver this feed to the cows. Mechanic is on the way and is going to be here within 30 minutes to look at this tractor, this 728, and hopefully he can find something that they couldn't find the other day. Because there's nothing more frustrating than coming to work on something and not finding anything. Because I imagine that's quite frustrating for those mechanics as well when they come here and they think it's DEF quality, which I suppose it could still be, but I'm kind of doubtful with how many pieces of equipment we fill out of the same DEF tank. But it is what it is. Maybe it is time to try a different brand, I don't know. Later in the afternoon, I figured I'd end the video here. They had sent the mechanic out. I think he's potentially got the issue figured out, so we're We're thinking that there's water getting into that DEF tank, probably from the breather somewhere. He's doing some testing on that at the moment to see if he can figure out where the leak is. But the DEF in our bulk DEF tank tests good. In the tractor it does not. And last week when we had the problem, it was raining, and now today here it's raining. So he's thinking somewhere we've got water getting into that DEF tank, so for whatever reason not sealed up properly. But I think they kind of figured that I was not very happy this morning, because they sent the mechanic over here right away. He's potentially got it figured out. So on the plus side of things, at least we've got a good dealer that's got some good mechanics to diagnose the problem. So hopefully he can find where the leak is. If it's on the vent line out of the top, that's probably an easy fix. If there's a crack in the tank, that's probably not as easy, but it's still covered under warranty, so it's not the end of the world. But anyways, questions, comments, post them down below. Appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.